Hey, this is Trey. Well, at least it's over. From West Virginia Public Broadcasting and PRX, I'm Trey Kay with Us and Them. We're the show that looks at the nation's culture divides, something that seems, well, pretty darn relevant today. Election Day 2024 is behind us, and what a ride it has been. This campaign season has really seemed like two, before and after President Joe Biden dropped out of the race. It has also included some unprecedented events. The Democratic candidate's switch from Joe Biden to Kamala Harris, and two assassination attempts on Donald Trump. But then, come to think of it, the campaigns since 2016 have presented us with some new territory. That 2016 campaign between Republican candidate Donald Trump and Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton was marked by division and a troubling tone.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
Crowds at Trump rallies often chanted the phrase, "Lock her up," focused at Hillary Clinton.
For what she's done, they should lock her up.
That campaign reflected a shift in some of the name-calling between candidates, and it was a significant moment for the Us and Them team. About 6 months before Election Day, West Virginia Public Broadcasting, our producing organization, announced budget cuts, and Us and Them lost funding. It happened at a time when we felt our show's mission to spotlight and report on America's divides was more essential than ever. Our show went dark for several months. Then a few supporters stepped in with a small stream of funding, and we got to work reflecting on the election outcome of 2016. We wanted to understand how the country might find a way to move forward. There have been 3 presidential elections since Us and Them first launched, and Donald Trump has been a candidate in every one. With each cycle, the sense of division in our country only seems to deepen. Each time I reflect on this, I recall the words of my producing partner after Trump's first election. He said, "I think our stock just rose." And in a way, it's true. Again, this year, with a narrow margin of victory in races across the country, we need to find a new way to help the part of the nation who feel they've lost. And maybe part of that is to encourage those who have won to listen with empathy. Working on a program like Us and Them, I routinely engage with people who see the world differently. However, some topics continue to be the most challenging, including race. I've found that when I bring up race in a conversation, I often soften my true feelings about the complexity of our country's racial history. And that's why I rarely say out loud what I'm about to say. I don't believe we would have had a President Trump if we hadn't had a President Obama. Donald Trump's mission to erase and dismantle much of Obama's legacy during his first administration has been called by some a kind of white backlash, a reaction to the progress Black Americans made in claiming a more equitable part of the American story.
This was a white lash. This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a Black president in part. And that's the part where the pain comes.
As I think about Vice President Kamala Harris's remarkable rise as the Democratic nominee for president, I'm reminded that as the first woman of color to run for president, race once again played a role in this election. But what now? Our nation's complicated history with race will not transform or disappear overnight. I wonder and worry about the potential for conflict from a second Trump administration. His campaign was marked by us versus them rhetoric, with open talk about retribution against his enemies. Some of his supporters say that's just bluster, heat-of-the-moment, unscripted talk. Whether it is or not, the stubborn fact is Donald Trump has won another term. And now it's up to us to grapple with what this outcome means. Trump's first victory forced the us and them team to rethink our purpose. We've focused on engaging people with different perspectives, fostering respectful conversations like those in our dinner party episodes. Many listeners say that's helped them after recent elections. And we're proud that our focus on empathy and understanding has been meaningful. But after all the twists and turns of this campaign season, I wonder how our exercise to bring us and them together will move ahead. In a second Trump administration, with Republicans winning control of the United States Senate, there's a clear GOP power center. And some listeners have already told me they've lost interest in reaching across the aisle with empathy and understanding. Right now, I'm thinking about the advice my colleague gave me 8 years ago when he said our stock had risen. It seems that us and them's mission is as relevant as ever. But there's no question that a lot of Americans are still angry and afraid, perhaps even more so now. Our goal remains to help people understand those across the cultural divide and hopefully see the humanity in their neighbors. We'll see how that goes, one step at a time. I'm Trey, and let's keep this us and them conversation going.
Support for this podcast comes from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
From PRX.